the thing that's most important to me is kind of raising air awareness. You know, the first thing you do when you're born, you take a breath. The last thing you do before you die, you take a breath. We need food, water, and air, but when you sleep 8 hours at night, the only thing keeping you alive is air. You can't do an air fast. So my hypothesis is we could be in a coma and our body will still breathe. Like it's the only function of those three things. You know, we don't eat or drink water automatically. And I'm pretty sure that because our body does it autonomously for us, we've gone completely ignorant to it.
Let's learn how our next guest gets up, dress up, and show up on purpose. Enjoy the episode.
Hello, morning enthusiasts. Welcome to the Best Morning Routine Ever podcast. I am your host, Dr. Lunid, and today I have the honor of introducing a very special guest to the show, Mike Feldstein. Mike is the founder of JASPR, the ultimate indoor cleaning machine. He is on a mission to improve quality of life by improving quality of air. Now, the name of the company is JASPR, but Mike's background is he restored air restoration after fires. And so he spent years in the wildfire and flood restoration sector, as well as air quality consulting, witnessing firsthand how much polluted air can damage people's well-being. Yeah, for real. And we're in California. We get wildfires as well. So I'm excited to hear about his journey and to hear about JASPR, how it works. And so with no further ado, Mike, welcome to the show.
What's going on?
Yay. Nice to have you. Now, throughout your experience, you spent years with wildfires and restoration being in that space. You didn't find a air purifier that worked. You didn't find anything on the market that can purify the air. And so that's how it set you out to go build one yourself. So tell us about that journey to to getting there.
Yeah, so there's definitely stuff that worked. It was kind of more of the combination. So in fire restoration, mold, floods. So my past career was basically when there'd be a bad flood in fire in California where hundreds of homes would either be burnt down or the homes around the homes. You know, when a house is burned down, it's very obvious what needs to be done. We need to build a new home. It's when the homes are smoke damaged that didn't get burnt down and you're caught up with insurance because, you know, when you look at the house, it looks okay, but it's deeply contaminated by the toxic smoke. So my role was basically to come in there and rip things apart top to bottom, take out everything soft and porous. So carpets, furniture, insulation, anything that could absorb water can absorb air. So it was our job to clean and restore that. We did a lot of work pretty much from California down to British Columbia, Alberta, the West Coast, where the wildfires were most prevalent, even though this past year, it was actually the East Coast that got hit by wildfire smoke, and California made it out pretty good this year. So we would use these huge machines for mold jobs and fires, huge, like something between a subwoofer and a photocopier, big, loud, ugly, kind of like, the analogy I like to use is we were using like big tractor trailers, big trucks, and most air purifiers are golf carts. But what we needed is a luxury SUV that can take the kids, take the stuff, and look good while doing it. Because when we would clean up these homes after the wildfires, and then a week later, baby would be sick again. We go in, we check the air quality. We're like, what's going on? Thing is, after a wildfire, the air quality could be contaminated for months. It's all the stuff that you can't see, that you can't smell, that's in the ambient environment. So that still makes people really, really sick after wildfires.
What kind of illness are we talking about? Coughing, congestion? What have you seen?
Yeah, so pretty much everything gets exasperated. The most acute things would be asthmatics, people with any respiratory stuff, people who chronically are sick and have runny noses and sleep apnea, folks who have CPAP machines, pretty much all the respiratory stuff. And then autoimmune stuff can be pretty significant as well.
And those are basic. I mean, my grandmother uses a sleep apnea machine. Our husband have allergies, so it's not really acute illnesses. This is stuff that everyday common illnesses that it can exacerbate, make it worse for them.
It's not exactly an allergen, but it can have respiratory stuff gets very affected. But like, yeah, like I have some psoriasis, it would flare up really bad. People's
Really?
eczema would get worse. Just
Wow.
your body's breathing toxic polluted air, so just nothing works as good. You're more tired. It's like if you were drinking really dirty water, your body's just going to perform suboptimally. It's like eating fast food instead of high quality food. It's not like it's going to kill you tonight, but it's going to really not make you feel very good, and you're not going to be your most optimal self.
Yeah, that's a real pain point right there. So what got you into this space to begin with? Like out of college, you're like, this is what I want to do. Like, tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so 21, entrepreneurship, opportunity. They called it the mold rush. Mold is gold. Honestly, it was not an altruistic thing. I was a 21-year-old who dropped out of college, and I had got into online marketing at first, and then the online marketing led me to I had a lot of clients with home service companies that were doing this type of work, and it was a pure opportunity. I'm like, whoa, these guys get to remove some drywall and charge like 10 grand. This is a great business.
Yeah.
So it was mostly the opportunity. And then it was crazy because when we would remove mold and we would check the air quality to clear a home, what the insurance company would consider clear wasn't that clear at all. It's kind of like when you get a blood test and they're like, we'll call you if you're dying, but if not, you won't hear from us. So this really was applicable in the home environment space. So, like most homes aren't really designed for people. A builder buys 2,000 acres and they do a big subdivision. And most of these homes that you see, they were designed on a spreadsheet, not for the human. It was how many acres, how many square foot, what's the cost per square foot, how fast can we build them? And all these building materials, they produce the home as quick as they can. So the toxins don't even get time to off gas because it's just the way that things went. It's not like the developer is like, hey, let's kill people and make things sick. It's just the way that they were taught to develop was this kind of way. But your HVAC system, your furnace, your air conditioner, it's kind of like the lungs of your house. Mm-hmm. And instead of just banging it in last minute, put it wherever, even custom home builders, typically homes are designed to be cost-effective structures that keep the elements out. When the home inspector comes to check your house when you're ready to buy a home, they just look for something that's going to hit you in the wallet. They're not checking to see if this, and I got certified as a home inspector. It took 2 days just to see. It was 2 full days over the course of a week just to see how trained are these people. Let me become one to see what this is like. And we give you're supposed to give your customer a contract that says we don't look for mold or anything environmental. So we're literally saying we're not looking for, we'll make sure your walls are fine, but is this home healthy for your family, for your kids, for your babies? Not even looking that way. So to me, honestly, way more than JASPR, air purifiers, or anything, the thing that's most important to me is kind of raising air awareness. The first thing you do when you're born, you take a breath. The last thing you do before you die, you take a breath. We need food, water, and air, but when you sleep 8 hours at night, the only thing keeping you alive is air. You can't do an air fast. So my hypothesis is, I think humans, because our body, literally, we could be in a coma and our body will still breathe. Like it's the only function of those 3 things. We don't eat or drink water automatically. And I'm pretty sure that because our body does it autonomously for us, we've gone completely ignorant to it. Yeah. If you go into someone's house and it smells like a wet dog or cooking, within 10 minutes, you don't smell it anymore. Your body just adapts and you get used to it. So to me, it's all about raising air awareness, raising air consciousness. Like, I could go into a home and I could detect if the CO2 levels are high, if the particulate's high, if there's mold with no sensors, because I've been in enough environments that I've calibrated it. It's like if, you growing up, we just knew water. There was no like filtered water everywhere, reverse osmosis. And then once you start drinking the filtered water, you go to that restaurant, you drink that tap water, you're like, this tastes like chemicals. I'm not sure about this. I don't know. I don't know if I want to drink this water. So yeah, like my big mission and vision here is it's top down, bottom up. You get what you tolerate. So people need to be aware of the homes they're buying, the homes they're renting. They need to hold landlords accountable. Developers, builders, HVAC, architects also need to think that, hey, we got to build homes for people, because it doesn't even cost a lot more money to build a healthy home. It just takes a little bit of thoughtfulness, a little bit of care.
Yeah, and that's where JASPR coming in. I have to say, JASPR is pretty beautiful looking. It's slick, it's lean. It looks like an Alexa device. Hopefully mine doesn't go off right now. But you've designed that pretty well, and it's effective how it works. So tell us about JASPR. Where did the name come from, and how it works?
The name came from a mountain in Canada, because there's actually companies out there who bottle the air and they sell it to China. People who just want to get a breath of that fresh mountain air. Meanwhile, in wildfire season, it's not so fresh. But that mountain had some nostalgia to me. And after taking Sarah Blakely's masterclass a few years ago, she said fake names do better than real names. That's why she spelt Spanx with an X. So I'm like, the name felt right. So it's not a smart device, no apps, no Wi-Fi, no Bluetooth. We took it all out because I want it to be a smart device, but a smart device shouldn't need an app. You push the smart button and it runs itself. So it doesn't need all that other stuff. And when you could go to Walmart and you could buy a kettle for $15, or you could go to Restoration Hardware and buy a kettle for $150, or anywhere in between. So it's the kettle, for example, or a toaster or a fridge. You could buy a cheap fridge. It'll keep your food cold, just like a fancy fridge. But it matters if things have good warranties, if they're quiet, if they're beautiful, if they're nice to use. So I learned that if the air purifier is ugly or loud, you're going to put it in the closet and turn it off, because you fix the air pollution, but you create the noise pollution. So I learned, so it's made out of steel, not plastic. It'll last for 25 years. It has a lifetime warranty. And it has the power of 5 Dysons. So it's expensive. Yes, it is. It's been a challenge to make them affordably, but it's not like your average, you can't really compare it to like a $200 thing, because if it's not large, it can't work quietly. It would need to be really loud if it was small, and then you would turn it off. So I almost didn't even launch the company. I just wanted to make the world's best air purifier for my family and my friends. And then COVID happened. We ended up selling to doctors and dentists, but originally it was designed for wildfire smoke. Now things have changed, and we sell 99% to families who are dealing with sleep issues, allergies, asthma, mold. People who generally don't feel well at home, or people who, people buy bottled water. They don't add up at the end of the year how much they spent on bottled water, but we spend a lot of money on water. So I'm like, you spend your $1,000 on an air purifier, you never have to change it again. And now you're going to breathe 95% cleaner air every day, every night. So I used to look at it as expensive, but I wanted to create the best product, not the best cheap product. And if it doesn't look beautiful and fit into your decor, it's just an eyesore. Like there's a product called Air Doctor that's about $300 cheaper than us. It's a really good air purifier too. It cleans the air well, but it's ugly. Big white plastic box. It looks like an air conditioner, big logo. The buttons are really loud. So, it doesn't mean someone shouldn't buy it, right? Different tools for different folks. But if somebody wants something that looks good and works well and it's easy to use, that's kind of where we come in. We realized it had to be smart and quiet and beautiful and good service. That's I just created the company I wish I could be a customer of. If somebody else made this, I would have just been a customer. A lot less work.
Does it have a filter?
Yep, it has a HEPA filter. It takes 30 seconds to change. You're supposed to change it every 6 months, ideally. You could change it every 12, but 6 is optimal. And yeah, it's a HEPA filter and a carbon, so it deals with all the particles in the air as well as cooking odors and things like that. And it has a sensor on board, which this technology didn't used to exist. So when I start cooking, it automatically, or wildfire smoke, it automatically goes red. The fan speed goes up. You see the air quality on the screen. It revs up and then it brings it back down. And yeah, so
very nice.
You want to talk about morning routines at all?
Yeah, let's get into it. How do you get up, dress up, and show up? What's your
I
morning
like that.
routine like?
I like that. That's the thing. I
Hmm.
think it's, I like to say you can't have a good day if you don't have a good night. So that's where we come in with the sleep side.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, you can't have a good day if you don't have a good night. And the way I start my day, so I recently got rid of my cell phone again. I like to occasionally do few months breaks of digital detox.
Hmm.
But the goal for me is I wake up and I ask myself before I even sit up to use the bathroom or anything, I say, what would make today great? And it has to just be one thing. So when I lie back down at the end of the day, I have to know the day that I did the thing I said I would do. And I don't know if you can see here, but I got a cold plunge out there.
I,
Um,
s- I
I
saw
wait
that daily. You're jumping in there, 39 degrees.
minutes and then take my shower and we're off to the races.
Nice. So so part of your morning routine, one thing that can go great today, and then the daily plunge, jumping
Yes.
into that 39 degrees every morning.
Yeah, you know
What are
it.
some of the benefits? What have you noticed that changes when you do that, the plunge?
More my ability to deal with annoying things throughout the day. Once
Get
you
comfortable
know,
with the uncomfortable.
it's like the eat the frog thing. I've already done the hardest, most annoying thing in the morning. So everything else feels kind of easy after that. And working out takes an hour. It's not to say don't exercise, it's good, but it's like that. I want to do a hard thing that's not uncomfortable, get it done. And then throughout the day, I'm operating at a higher level because I could do more annoying stuff, or not just annoying stuff, but the little annoyances throughout the day don't feel so annoying because you sat in ice cold water in the morning.
Yeah. Getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. That
You
is
got
the
it.
notion. Yeah. So Mike, tell us, where can we find you? Where can we connect with you?
So yeah, you could search my name on podcasts. I'm doing a lot more podcasts. It's a hard thing to just put into a tweet or a picture or a post. Jasper, JASPR.co, at Jasper Co on Instagram. And I'm starting to do a lot more educating. And yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah, perfect. Mike, before we go, tell us about one of your favorite quotes that resonate with you.
I like you get what you tolerate.
Dope. Dope.
This applies to everything. You get what you tolerate, whether it's your air, your water, your food, your kids, your wife, yourself, your husband. It doesn't matter. If you don't like something, you don't got to tolerate it. So just, I think that's important. It takes some extreme ownership and autonomy into our own lives. If
This
someone's not
has been,
treating you well, just don't allow it.
I love that. Well put. Mike, it's been a pleasure having you on. Thank you for taking the time and sharing with us.
Yeah, I'll send you a code to give to put in the show notes for your listeners. A big discount. It's Black. We're recording a couple days before Black Friday, so we'll do a special little code that'll be an extended Black Friday for your listeners.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming.
Hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please comment and tell us what was your favorite part, your favorite habit that you are going to try out for yourself today. Comment below. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. Until next time, I will see you at the top of your best morning routine ever. Stay blessed.